in order to pervert the cause of public justice. Now there's another side to this. Shortly after the Integrity Commission investigated this matter under the chairmanship of Justice Hossain, the Commission found as a fact that there was no valid information to pursue this matter and brought the investigation to an end, saying there is no justification to carry on this matter, and I will give you copies of the letter later on which is sent to me as the Prime Minister's lawyer. This caused one of the commissioner, Justice Sebastian Venter, to resign. He resigned from the commission saying it was premature, that the investigation was not closed and it ought not to have been closed. The commission members, other members, were saying that the investigation was closed and they had information from the police, but no input from the Director of Public Prosecution Department that there was any evidence to pursue this matter. He resigned as a result of that. Now, the very Sebastian Venter, the Justice Sebastian Venter, is now heading a commission of inquiry, was recently sworn in, to investigate the then Prime Minister, Kanda Bissessar, whether there was a corruption in the acquisition of various pieces of property to extend the highway. I am now calling upon Sebastian Venter on the same principle that he resigned, to resign from this commission. Resign from this commission because the ordinary, fair-minded, informed observer, knowing your position in relation to Emailgate against the Prime Minister, then Prime Minister Kanda Bissessar, will form the opinion that you have a subconscious bias against Kanda Bissessar. And you ought not to cling on to status and power, and as a former High Court judge, do the decent thing and resign on the same principle. The political hoax that perpetrated by Prime Minister Rowley, then leader of the opposition, was a political move. Because what the commissioner had indicated in his press conference this afternoon is that anyone looking at the thread, the Emailgate thread, would have known that this was typewritten. And a responsible leader of the opposition, in order to accuse a Prime Minister of conspiring to murder and commit very serious criminal offense in Parliament and outside of Parliament, ought to have checked these Emailgate threads. He did not do that because it was political expediency for him. I, as the then Prime Minister lawyer, calling our own investigators from the United States of America, and they investigated this matter, and in this very conference room some years ago, I announced that the Emailgate threads were bogus and they were false. The police, the officer who was investigating this matter, Assistant Commissioner Hackett, indicated that there was no evidence to pursue this matter, but sent the file to the DPP, and the Acting Director of Public Prosecution, or Deputy Director of Public Prosecution, Joan Honoré, had that file for 4 to 5 years and would not say whether there is information to pursue this matter. She would not officially announce to the nation or the police that there was nothing in it. You see, in this country, our national anthem says every race and creed finds an equal place. And I wrote her a letter indicating I am wondering whether not clearing or saying there is evidence, whether it is based on race or political allegiance or tribal allegiance. If there is evidence, I said, charge the Prime Minister. Charge her. And if there is evidence that they need further time, say so to the public. But do not hold this thing for 7 years. This happened 12 years. We will have gone into another election with the Bill Gates hanging overhead. But for the man Gary Griffith, who was also accused of conspiring to murder in that Bill Gates. And the ordinary man on the street has sense to know that if he was really conspiring to do this, the Prime Minister Rowley would not have endorsed his appointment as Commissioner of Police. So the Prime Minister himself is quite aware that the email gate is bogus. Well, maybe he got to know that later, but he should have said something, being a fair Prime Minister. He did not. So this is the point I wish to emphasize. I don't wish to confuse it with any other thing. You're setting up a commission of inquiry. All right, you're setting up a commission of inquiry to find out whether there was corruption in the acquisition of land, because they seem to be inordinately high compensation and people must be whispering. You're setting up a commission of inquiry. But people are making serious allegations against the Chief Justice of this country. And there is evidence staring in your face. And all we asking you to do is to investigate whether these things are true or not. I'm not interested in Chief Justice's sex life. I'm not interested in it. But once you commingle your private life into public affairs and you get into problem, you've got to be cleared. So set up the commission of inquiry to find out whether it is true or not. The law associated with this matter went quite to the Privy Council. It's now 6 months this Prime Minister is doing nothing, absolutely nothing. Nothing. He's bold-faced and brass-faced, and he couldn't care about the rule of law. He couldn't care about the Constitution. But he set up a commission of inquiry, which he would know will not proceed, because he is well aware that people will file for judicial review on the grounds of bias, and this thing going all the way to the Privy Council. It doesn't matter who wins on the grounds of bias, they go into the Privy Council and the election is due in a year. So what, you're wasting taxpayers' money, you're perpetrating this fraud on the public again. The politicians must now know that the young Africans and East Indians in this country who is living in the East-West corridor do not have allegiance to tribe. All they want to know is what it is for me. And why I want to know is whether there is integrity in public affairs. The older people might hold on to this, but not in the East-West corridor. He has done a lot, the Prime Minister, in holding this country together, trying his best with his Commissioner of Police to fight crime, etc., etc. People are dying daily, being murdered. But all that will amount to naught if you are obstinate and you're bold-faced and brass-faced, because maybe you have parochial allegiance to a Tobagonian who is up to be Chief Justice. Set up the inquiry and see whether it is true or not. Apologize to the nation, announce to the nation that you sincerely believe that this email gate that they put in your mailbox has some substance in it. You went to the President, he did nothing. You went to the Integrity Commission, he did nothing. You went to the police, they did nothing. That is why they raised it in Parliament. It didn't pass through your head that they're doing nothing because they know it bogus. You raised it in Parliament. Well, apologize now. Say, I did my duty. It turned out to be bogus. Apologize to the dead Prime Minister. Let's move on with the country affairs. That is all it will take a big man to do. Say it. Scrap the commission of inquiry into the, or select another chairperson. You cannot take Justice Sebastian Venter, who resigned from the Commission of Inquiry, say that the email gate was premature terminated. And now nothing has been done further now. And after 4 years, the Commissioner of Police is saying, under proper investigation by the police, with legal assistance from abroad, investigation by other officers from the United States of America, and advice from the Director of Public Prosecution, they have finally come to say that the email gate is a bogus allegation. End of story. And this is what I call you in to let you all know, because I do not know how your story is going to come out, because you have editors down there. You don't think the editors vote? You don't think judges vote? You don't think you vote and I vote? But vote is not important. Country first. So this is my position on this email gate affairs. So I could entertain questions if you want question, but I don't want to confuse it with too many things.
Mr. Khan, you would have mentioned race a couple of times there. But you said if, let's say, hypothetically, Cameron Mastadi had made the allegations, do you think she would have been facing some sort of action now that the allegations were proven to not be true?
She might not have be facing any allegation, but they would have investigated her. Because I sent a letter to the Commissioner of Police indicating that she is the one who sent the email gate and asked them to investigate. And instead of investigating Rowley, they start investigating her. That's what they did. She sent it to say, investigate this bogus thing. And there are copies here for you all. You can take one each. You'll see the letter I sent, the letter she wrote. The commissioner replied what the police said. So if she had insisted on pushing this, they would have investigated, they would have at least investigate where this email, where this thread come from, who gave you it, etc., etc. And if there was evidence, if there would have been evidence that she conspired, she would have been charged. I suspect that what happened is that the then leader of the opposition got this thing in his mailbox. And he believed it at that time. But when people started to question and examine it, he never pulled back. He went through with it.
Mr. Khan, what you would advise the opposition leader now going forward?
The what?
What would you advise the opposition leader to do going forward?
Well, I'm not I'm an armchair politician. Well, I will simply advise him to go on the political platform and say that he perpetrated a fraud and he will do anything to retain power. Politically. But what legally, what I advise him to do is to sue him. And they should file for judicial review of having Justice Sebastian Venter as chairman of a commission of inquiry, because he wouldn't have a conscious bias, and it will be subconscious. They have something called subconscious bias, where your mind plays tricks on you. If he believed that the email gate had some substance in it and it ought not to come to an end, he said so and he resigned. And now the very Sebastian Venter, for all the retired judges that he personally looked to select, they know what they're doing, you know. They know that this thing won't get off the ground. They will file. And then they will say, yes, go on the platform and say the opposition does not want an investigation. Everything is politics, the Machiavellian.
Mr. Khan, you spoke about the Eastern Corridor, voting, etc. You think really the politicians are dealing with a different public going forward who are going to remember these things from election time, might be more discerning?
No, there are people who have already made up their mind it doesn't matter. There are people in Lavantil, you could do what them want. You could stab them, you could shoot them, you will vote PNM. And the people south of the Caroni Bridge, they will vote an East Indian-based party. But the people in the East-West corridor, the young African and young East Indian, they will remember, because they are the enlightened electorate. Not everybody from the south of the Caroni Bridge thinking so, but the great majority of people vote as a parent, so they wouldn't come out and vote, they couldn't care. But the East-West corridor will decide who form the government, like La Hoqueta Bataria, St. Joseph, one of the Diego Martin seat now, and I think Moruga or somewhere. You see, what you must remember, and forgive me for saying that, there are certain people in the UNC party who believe that an East Indian is a Hindu. No? If you're not a Hindu and you happen to be an East Indian, you're not really an Indian. You're Anglo-Saxon. If you're a Presbyterian or you're a Muslim, all that, they bring that sort of a thinking into the party.
Just borrow from your legal mind, can you just explain to us the how doctoral action amounts to perversion of the course of justice?
Pardon, how what?
You said to pervert the course of justice, right? To be investigated for that. Could you just explain to us how?
That is, if you know or suspect that whatever you are saying constitutes a criminal offense, you're aware that the information is bogus. Like, for instance, if somebody is saying they were raped by somebody, they went on a date and they know they consented, they attempted to pervert the course of public justice. So if you are aware or you grossly negligent, you couldn't care that this contents of the thread, they are false, and you're still going forward with it. You're going on political platform, you're going to the Integrity Commission, you're going all over the place. You're attempting to pervert the course of public justice, that you're using the police officers to investigate a matter, hoping that will distract people because the police will not charge. When you go to the DPP, this DPP and all our DPPs have been totally independent, just so happen, and have the necessary integrity, you know. They don't think about race and class and creed when they decide they look on the law. But the people who provide the information is the police. So they could not have gotten anywhere with this email gate because they had no information on it. They printed information on a real thread. Now nothing will come off of it. Pardon?
Do you plan to keep reminding on this matter, keep speaking on this matter?
No, I am so incensed about this matter. Each time I say, I'm not getting involved, something happens, that means sense. Look at the banner I had there, 3 banners, that the Chief Justice must face an inquiry, or either you go to jail. I had the banners out there. I kept on writing. I got so fed up with the rest of people. And the Prime Minister will destroy his own legacy. I admire him for anytime I pass by that Red House, I say, I vote in Rowley. I could bring back the Red House, doing thing. You know why? I don't know if you'll publish this or not. You know why I'm very reluctant to have the opposition get into government? You know why? Because if the present opposition, with the composition that they have there, was in power, and you had a commissioner of police like Gary Griffith, and in confrontation with criminals and the people who they so happy to be killing our young Africans, who they say are bandits, there will be war in this country. Because they will see the East Indians are killing Africans. That is the underground they will run. And it happened in 1970 when they burned down this country. You see buildings that burned down, Syrians and Indians and so on and so on. So and it doesn't matter who governs this country, you know. They will rule in the interest of the parasitic oligarchy. Always rule. You think slavery has been abolished? Because they wear a jacket and a tie and they getting something to eat? You used to get breadfruit as a slave and had to work as a slave? You find out the profits that the company you're working for making and find out whether you're getting just wages. You'll see whether slavery exists.
Just one quick question again from me. I hope it's not too unusual. I mean, these are different times. Are you not fearful of speaking as boldly as you do going forward?
I used to be fearful, but all my children are all grown up and so on and all these things, and I have paid for my mortgage, and if something happens to me, what I would wish is a quick death like how they killed Dana Sita. I wouldn't want to suffer. I'm no longer fearful. I used to be fearful in what will happen to my children and what will happen and so on. But I reach a certain stage that I have to. But I'm not saying anything controversial. Not saying anything controversial. You thinking by chance that in Diego Martin, the very constituency that the PNM in, that they were worth $7 million to seven youngsters? Rudal Munilal and the rest of them used to do the same thing. What thing happened when they start calling them community leaders? Sometimes I don't think about the fear. I keep myself busy. We all have to die one day, you know. Not when you die, it's how you die. So if you have a story to run, run it without a byline.
Well, you lie, that's everything one day. So, please, you know.
Don't forget the interview on live on.
Well, I was going to say, when I said, I don't know if you publish it as I read everything.
All right. They will edit it. No, they come through, right through.
Live, everything went as.
That is my weakness. I can't keep my mouth shut.
You held out a big one. Oh.
Hmm?
It's still live, by the way.
Yeah.
Whatever happened. All right. Well, thank you all for coming. If I had to remind myself it was live, I would have moderate my language and the content.
That's all you understand.
Get your ad on the show that matters. Real Talk with Saieed Ali. It's engaging, entertaining, and straight to the point. Real Talk brings the issues of the day to the people. It's Real Talk with Saieed Ali. It's local, regional, and international. It's Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Get your ad now. Call
1-868-237-3135 or 1-868-339-1670.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Saieed Ali, consultant and real estate businessman.
Can't watch Real Talk on TV? Have no fear. You can also watch Real Talk on the go live on YouTube and Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali on YouTube.com and TT Real Talk on Facebook.com. Don't forget to like us and share us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification bell.